This basic 8.5 kilometer route over the Koringberg connects a string of telecom towers along the summit ridge with farms to the north and south and varies from fairly mild to quite complex. The route can be done in a circular format, starting and ending at the farm Hooggelegen, today known as Die Ark, or it can be driven as an out-and-back route, returning back from the summit the same way that you ascended. You will need a 4x4 high-clearance vehicle to complete the entire route, but it is doable in a high-clearance 4x2 bakkie in fair weather by turning around at the summit and retracing your route. The descent down the southern side of the mountain is quite extreme in places, depending on recent rainfall, and this more difficult section is probably best tackled by more experienced drivers. The route traverses 2 privately owned farms, so permission is required to drive the route. The pass can be driven in a circular loop in either direction, but finding the southerly starting point is quite difficult, so we recommend driving it in an anti-clockwise direction. After checking in at the reception building, head north between the farm buildings to a large double farm gate. Close the gate behind you and follow the contour track between the wheat fields for 850 meters, still heading north and paralleling the railway line. For newcomers to the area, the name Swartland may seem a complete misnomer, as the region's vast undulating wheat fields are green in winter and gold in summer and are anything but black in appearance. But for the first Europeans that set eyes on this landscape in the 1600s, it appeared dark, which was due to the vast tracts of land covered in renosterveld, a hardier type of fynbos, which turns a dark, almost black color during the summer months. Turn sharp left at this junction, which is where the true part of the pass begins. The turn is clearly marked with a number of prominent arrows. The route is popular with quad bike groups, and as such the road appears to be only wide enough for quad bikes in certain places, and big SUVs might feel somewhat restricted, but this feeling abates as altitude is gained. This section of the ascent rises gently up the hill towards the mountain, flanked by a row of tall blue gum trees on the right. After 670 meters there's an open farm gate where the road turns very sharply to the right and begins following the contours of the foothills of the mountain. The road is still inside a wheat field at this point. After 450 meters and some gentle climbing, you'll arrive at an intersection. The road to the left is barred by a closed gate, but you may access it if you wish, but remember to close the gate behind you. This road is paved with concrete and is both shorter and steeper than the right-hand option. The normal route is to stick to the right-hand track. If you intend only going to the summit and returning the same way, you might want to descend via this road, but do be warned, it's very steep. The region became established as a wheat-growing area as early as the 1700s due to its fertile soils and proximity to the markets in Cape Town. The Swartland today consists almost entirely of cultivated land, and only small pockets of the original renosterveld still exists, which has put this veld type onto the endangered list. The road continues following the contours of the lower slopes for another 830 meters before it turns more steeply to the left and begins climbing at a gradient of 1 in 7. The road bends persistently to the left before it settles down for the next kilometer into the southwest as it clings to the spine of a ridge via a number of serpentine-like bends both to the left and right. The Koringberg still plays host to some fine examples of renosterveld, and there are also examples in the Durbanville and Darling areas. The renosterveld is an evergreen shrubland characterized by a shrubby component which mainly comprises species of the daisy family, with a wealth of grasses, herbaceous perennials and an extraordinary array of geophytes. At the 3.4 kilometer point, there's a sharp right-hand bend where the gradient reaches a stiff 1 in 5 and almost immediately swings left again through a 130-degree bend, but this is just a brief step up the ascent which continues into the southwest once more. We strongly recommend tire deflation before starting this route. Drop them to between 1.1 and 1.4 bar depending on vehicle type, mass and tire style. The benefits are improved traction and therefore safety. You and your passengers will also enjoy a less bumpy drive, and a third benefit is a reduction in the risk of getting a puncture. Be sure to watch part 2 of the Koringberg Pass, which covers the second part of the ascent.